When it comes to poultry farming, poultry feeds sum up to 80% of the total cost of production. Meaning that if you want to start a poultry farm, if you want to start rearing birds, the first thing that you should think about is the poultry feeds. Where are you getting your poultry feeds from? And I think that's one of the reasons why many poultry farmers are not in the business right now, because of the poultry feed. In other words, you did not actually figure out how or where you can get your poultry feeds. That's actually having a hard time running your poultry business. Well, in this particular video, if you do want to start a poultry farm and actually have no problem with the feeds, then get ready for the video. When it comes to poultry farming, there are a lot of birds that are involved. We have the geese, we have the ducks, we have the chicken, of course, but most especially we like talking about chicken because this is what most people enjoy doing. Yeah, so number one thing is the breed of the birds that you want to keep. We do have broilers, layers, and then the local chicken. And when it comes to the local chicken, these birds actually don't need enough feeds for themselves because they can roam around, they can move around and then eat the grass, scratch the ground, and they can get the feeds. And then when it comes to layers, the birds which are specifically kept to lay eggs, these birds, they consume a lot of feeds. Yeah, they take a lot of feeds. And then when it comes to broilers, the ones kept for meat, they also do take a lot of feeds as well. If you have now figured out which breed of the birds that you want to go with, you will be very certain about how much feeds they would be actually consuming. So number one thing is the breed of the birds that you want to keep. And then when you have figured it out, we can now go on the second step. First thing that you should do is that when you don't want to actually be overburdened by the issues of the feeds, if you do have land, make sure that you do plant your own ingredients which are mostly used in poultry farming. Like in poultry farming, the major ingredients is the maize. Of course, that's an energy giving food to the birds, the maize. And then second is that we have the soybean, which you can also grow and then use it to feed your birds. Other ingredients like the premix, the lime, we can get them at a cheap price. Even accessing them is very, very easy. But these two guys, it is very, very hard to find them. And most especially, the prices keeps fluctuating. This season, maize can be at, let me say, 500 Ugandan shilling. And then the next season, it can rise up to 1,000, 1,500. So if you do plant your own maize, it will be very, very easy for you to actually keep your birds because you do have the major source of the ingredients which you can use to feed these birds. That's number one. And then number two is that other people, because not all people have land. Not all people have land to cultivate. Like those ones in the city cannot have access to land more than the people who are in villages. So at some point, it can be very hard for them to actually find land to actually cultivate the ingredients that I was talking about. So if you're in such areas, or if you are actually a person who finds it very hard to actually grow the maize, you don't have the land, the first thing that you should do is that try to save up money. You can actually go in the villages and then buy maize in bulk and then store them for like 3 to 4 months. That's when another harvest is ready. Like currently in my village, maize is at 600 Ugandan shillings. That's from the village. But when you go to towns, maize is at 1,000 Uganda shillings, meaning that it is double the price in the village. And then with this trick, it will be very easy for you guys. Very, very easy. Let me say right now, we are actually going close to dry seasons. So the maize is almost ready. The second season is almost ready. And then people will sell at a low price. But when it comes to February, that's when schools will be opening. The prices of the maize will shoot up because schools will be actually looking for this maize to feed their students. So at this time, if you have actually not saved up your maize in your store, it will be very hard for you to actually, find the maize. Okay, you will find the maize, but it will be very, very high. The prices will be very high, will be double or even triple the price which is currently in the market. So do that, and then you will be very, very secure when it comes to running of your poultry farm. Most people, they actually ignore this. And then when it comes to those times, they think about poultry farming being a very, very bad business, a very, very hard business. But all these businesses have challenges. Yeah, there are challenges that we do face in every business. Every business. So you must have solutions to the problems that you'll be facing. Like, for instance, the problem of the feeds. You can solve them 100%, but they actually stay reluctant, thinking that the prices will be the same. No. So that's number two, which you should take very, very important when you are running a poultry farm or when you do want to start a poultry farm one time. And then the last one is that we can use growth enhancers, and then there are very many feeds in the market which are specifically made to actually boost the growth of our birds. For instance, in broilers, we do have concentrates which are specifically made to feed the broilers. So if you can have access to these concentrates, your birds will actually grow very, very fast within a short period of time. But when you are to actually use these local feeds, because first of all, you don't know how to mix the feeds, you don't know how to meet the required nutrients in these feeds for the birds, your birds will tend to grow very, very slow. But when you go to actually these ready-made feeds, it will be very easy for your birds to grow. And then of course, with the use of other things like growth enhancers, your birds will grow super, super quick. So guys, those are the things that you should actually do in order to set you free from this problem of poultry feeds to our birds. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then you are actually doing a lot of mistakes. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. That way you can be one of the family members in this awesome YouTube channel. And then secondly, try to actually click on your bell button. That way you'll be notified immediately I drop any kind of video on the channel. I'm actually going to be dropping videos simultaneously. So if you don't want to miss any video about poultry farming, then guys, I repeat, do subscribe to the channel and give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend the video to other more people, and in that way it can help them in one way or the other in running their poultry farms. And yeah, see you in my next video. Bye bye.